Welcome back to some professional Starcraft 2. Two of my very favorite players in the entire world, head-to-head competing in the Warty TV 2020 Mega Super Ultimate Tournament. I added some words, but still, a best of 5. Let me introduce you. The chessmaster, the smartest Terran player, if not the smartest player in the world, and also a GSL caster to boot. From Triumphant Song Gaming, it is TY. And in the top right, the big boy himself, the former world champion, back to reclaim his glory and his memes. From Dragon Phoenix Gaming. Yes, these team names are quite something. It's party. I'm very excited for the clash of styles here. I think on paper, TY is favored. TY favored against almost anyone. Parting is a wild card, though. He's a YOLO toss. He's not going to sit back and build 3 bases and play defensive. No, he's going to blink up in your face, up in your base. He's going to proxy things. He's going to cannon rush. He's going to get weird, and he's going to like it. And you don't really want to be, around when that happens. So we'll see what TY, comes up with here. Just one of my favorite parting stories, while we have a relatively boring early game starting out, is Home Story Cup 10, which he won in an epic 4-3 over Flash. I had the privilege of attending. I go to the big ones, all right? You gotta go big. But so he got a big Home Story Cup trophy. It's a cup. They figured out accidentally that the top would come off, so it was only a couple hours until him and Stefano were pouring Red Bull and vodka into it and then drinking from the Home Story Cup. And that is the kind of life parting leads, and it hasn't changed significantly to this day. If you ever check out his stream. Reaper first. On the other side, TY. TY going mech against Protoss to an extent. Lately. He against Neeb especially, his matches against Neeb. Neeb just had no idea what to do. I wonder if Parting has a better response. I saw Parting play against Thermal, who went Battle Cruiser. Now, I'm not saying TY is going to go mech, but he is on the short list of players who actually consider it a serious strategy. But Parting is up in TY's grill. He's got 2 Stalkers. He's already denying mining at the natural back at home. Like, what is this? He just built 2 Stalkers and walked across the map. What an advanced strategy from the big boy. A Twilight and a Rebel behind. He's getting blank now, but the harass has already begun. Parting has several worker harassment lawsuits against him, but he decides to warp out of there every time. Blink is on the way, and of course we're going to be getting aggressive. He's already forced TY off his natural, because TY not investing in any add-ons early. I'm not actually sure where his money is going. He doesn't have a 3rd command center. He's adding on another Rex. I guess the chrono-boosted Stalkers just caught him a little off guard here. The Reaper in the back. He's going to spot the Twilight, spot the Robo, sees everything. What are you going to do? He's not going to kill any probes. There's a shield battery just in case. I think Parting's a little surprised that there's nothing to worry about, so the shield battery is a strong precaution. Already, concussive shells to break the knees of those Stalkers. He has to know Blink is on the way, but if he can make it so, well, if he can kill a couple Stalkers or at least force them back, he does have options. TY dropping out a singular Widowmine and sending the rest in the medevac. I like this dual prong play here. Parting not want to take a particularly greedy 3rd. He'd rather get those units out. We see that here. The Widowmines are dropping, but the probes have already escaped. He's going to pick another. Oh, no, he didn't see the second one. What a play. The bait and switch from TY gets 5 kills. Could have been even worse, but still, for a single Widowmine and dragging all these Stalkers back, it's not just the damage done by that mine. It is also the fact these units are now anchored at home. He didn't know exactly what he was responding to, he just knew he had to pull back. So TY has successfully not only killed workers, try to come in and get some more, but the stalkers are pinned back in parting space. A scan looking for observers, not finding any. A little late. Parting's observer a little bit later. So far, well, let's look at TY's production. He's got 3 racks online. Very slow in adding on his add-ons. Whereas Parting with a mildly delayed third in favor of getting the blink early and a lot of stalkers out. And now is adding the rubble bay for some potential anti-bio. But here come the blink stalkers. Parting ready to get up in his grill. Is there anything in the main? 6 marines are not going to cut it. A tank will help out a lot. He'll have the opportunity to reposition the tank. You don't... Okay, you see... What? Oh my god. TY willing to lift his command center to make sure his marines get through. This... I like the idea on paper, but in execution, it... You know, that was the biggest victory for Parting, let alone any kills he got. That command center lift actually slowing things down super significantly. The Widowmines come in. Somehow the medevac has made it out for now. In a weird exchange as everybody just keeps trading play. Why are there a couple of the boys leading the charge? Down goes the medevac. Everybody figuring out where everyone else is. A disruptor's on the way. Colossus early just kind of as a placeholder. There are no medevacs with this. I believe another one was just loaded up. Has a tank in it as well. The cancel on the third Parting. He decides, yeah, it's far too risky. There's no way I'm going to hold this cleanly. The Reaper comes in, spots the Stalker positioning. Parting already pre-canceled the third, the 2 tanks. He doesn't really want to back off because those, of course, tanks can be blunked upon, is the technical term. There's a disruptor. So, how does that disruptor shake out here? There's no way up. Well, he has to blink past. Meanwhile, the disruptor is coming around from the side. Fires a shot. That's a good one. Hits all the tanks, taking out 2. And the backbone of this push has been shattered. TY still has a lot of bio, but it's a lot more vulnerable without 3 tanks to back it up. And without any tanks to back it up. While the disruptor's on cooldown, he can move forward, but all 3 tanks taken out. Reinforcements. TY is taking a third. The disruptor targeted down. A few volleys, a few swipes from the Colossi helping. Another disruptor shows up to the party. A third base being taken by TY, realizing that while he might not be able to end this game against such cost-effective units, he can, when he's ahead, he can get more ahead. He's even on workers. There's really nothing from Parting that's going to be threatening besides an all-out attack where TY is out of position. Jimmy, I told you, we're doing damaged health bars now. We're professional. God. How many times? That is not the most successful drop I've ever seen. It flew over an observer when it was initially loaded up. So that's going to help out Parting pretty significantly, as now these only units out on the map are going to be obliterated. Parting now able to finally secure his third. Does he have... He has +1 on the way. This game has been so aggressive, neither side able to sneak in upgrades until finally now. Several minutes later, several minutes after most games would have +2 finishing. Okay, not several minutes after +2, but still. 2 Nexi from Parting. His third and his fourth, making up for lost time. TY has had some time to reproduce. He doesn't have that +1, so he doesn't have the advantage Terrans normally have against a tech-heavy Protoss. Production is coming online. He's just now going up to 5 racks. Is Parting adding gates? Parting already has 6 gates. He should be looking towards either a Templar Archives, there it is, putting it at his third. He's pretty committed to it. And or some more gates early on. He's going to focus on the tech. TY, heavy on the tanks. He loves his positional play. Oh, is he gonna expand? Oh, he's looking for hidden bases to an extent. Maybe possibly pylons as well, but mostly... Really, did you take your third that late? Parting says, yeah, I did. I don't understand all these Protoss just playing defensive. Let's get up in their grill. +1. Already done for parting. Finishing up for TY. This army, bio is not going to handle it. The bulk here. He has a couple Colossi. Do they have thermal lance? Yes, they do. Fully extended. Guardian shield used. There's nothing else on the map. He's going to walk into tank range and, oh, parting. You can see parting wants to blink in. He will blink in, even with no vision. He blinks into 3-4 tanks and will be thrown back, as oftentimes you will be if you blink into a bunch of tanks. So everybody's been forced to kind of take a breather after all the early game shenanigans, and now both sides working up towards 200 supply. Will TY move out before that time? He's already at 156. He's making ghosts. He's got tanks starting +2, and he only added a second engineering bay recently, so he's more focused on unit composition. Gravitic drive and observer speed. Warp prism and observer speed being added on. Upgrades neglected by Protosses even in the later game, even though they are very good. One Marine spotting this. I don't know if Parting has any opportunity to actually move in. There are 4 Archons on the way. Templar being... Well, Archon's great against tanks because they take about 54 hits, give or take, to die because they have so many shields. But I think TY is at the tank count with EMP that the Archons aren't nearly as much of a threat. The scan finds the army. Meanwhile, Warp Prism in the main, and this is how things get weird. Another big warp in. TY, he's got to be careful not to get baited too far back. He knows Parting's out on the map waiting for his opportunity to strike. He scans the army. TY knows the threat. A single Zealot over here. 4 SCVs dead so far. Vikings take down the Prism, but Parting is moving in, trying to intercept. TY caught at a bit of an awkward angle, but so is Parting. Caught on the mineral walls. EMPs as the Colossi try to work over. Wait a second. Was that a disruptor shot? I didn't even notice it happening. I just saw the Marines die. My eyes didn't register. Meanwhile, TY has a drop on the right. Bringing it in. Probes are defended. Okay, plenty of Zealots here. There is still a Zealot. It may have spotted this. TY may not have noticed. Upgrades are finishing up. Parting holding strong and doing some damage of his own, but TY not slowed down very much. In fact, losing 16 SCVs might help him just to have a larger army composition. 2 more factories added on. It appears Special and TY have had some more conversations. The only other player who goes really heavy on the tanks in especially later game TVP is Juanito. That's really almost no one else I've seen add in that many tanks. He's kind of switching almost into mech. That technically tanks and ghosts are better units for the late game, but they're also less mobile and force you to be more prepared for an engagement. These Marines, very valuable here. If we don't move, they won't notice. Oh, no! It's Billy! Why? I told you to just stay quiet. Meanwhile, how much army does Parting have with this? He's got a lot of strength here, but it's not that much army supply compared to TY. A whole bunch of charge lots on the left side. Uncontested for a few seconds. We'll kill 5 SCVs. All the bios on the way. He knows, well, TY knows this is happening. EMPs, he's looking for the EMPs. He throws them across the board. Strips even the Archons mostly of their HP. Parting really diving deep in the paint here. But TY split off his most valuable units to defend the 4th and his most mobile units to defend the 3rd. And that split there is going to leave him in a very comfortable position. He beat down both sides of that attack. That Warp Prism took a very wrong flight path, and the Marines will gun it out of the sky. TY still has all his bio split off. Not a single ghost with this. He has to be careful. If he loses his bio, he's forced to play defensive. You can't actually move out with just tanks and Vikings. That doesn't work. Parting sitting on 5 bases. TY on 4. Still not very close to concluding this match. TY has had the supply lead for a while, but His army is very reliant on being all together. He needs all the pieces of the what is starting with a random set of Templar out there. What is the ghost count? 6 ghosts against 2 Templar. I've noticed Barding not a huge fan of high Templar. He much prefers things like disruptors and blink stalkers. What is happening? The ghosts were shooting at a tank, making sure their guns work. They do work. A handful of blink stalkers up here. Losing a lot of them. Sensor towers spot the army. Oh, that's a lot of tanks. 13 tanks for TY right now. And they're all going to start firing the EMPs, meaning the Archons are essentially... Well, they just... A single shot takes them out. They only have 10 HP outside of those shields. The EMPs are just too much for Party to actually engage in any location covered. More. Does he go for the EMPs? He doesn't really need them on the charge lots. He might work on the other parts of the army. He hits them. The force fields will isolate the bio, and most will escape. One lifeboat gunned down. Parting rotates around to the top. He's got less army, but he's willing to wield it. Another EMP. The disruptor, the only thing still at full strength. The tanks move around, and Parting is really looking for options, but at some point, either you keep beating your head against this wall of tanks and ghosts, or maybe you switch to something like Stargate. Parting agrees. Stargate is in production. Another Ghost Academy for TY. And for those who might not understand why, nuclear missiles. That's the only reason. So game number 1 starting off dramatically. A scan, TY watching for the tech switch, finds it before it's even the beginnings of it happen. What was that? Was that a prism? Or was that it wasn't an oracle, it couldn't be. Another prism goes down. 2 nuclear missiles are in the production tab for TY. The army is all together. Parting is maxed out. It looks like a full energy Templar sniped off. EMPs, but are there enough charge lots to cover? He gets the planetary. Charge lots not going to make it to the tank line. Parting losing a lot to start. A massive charge lot warping, but the bio army has reached critical mass. You can't solve this problem like this. Where is Parting's army? It recalled to the 3rd base. He didn't want anything getting picked off. Nothing key taken out here. Parting losing a whole lot of... Well, the key is that he lost a whole lot of units. And now TY, while he lost a base, he lost some SCVs, he's still at 70, because nobody makes more SCVs than TY. It's actually a problem sometimes. He's the only Terran player I've seen reliably get to 100 plus SCVs, which is just too many. You gotta calm down. But not this game, because Parting keeps sacrificing things to kill him. Parting has a whole ton of money in the bank, but not very many minerals. He has to buy a little bit more time. Otherwise, TY is going to be able to push forward. There's almost nothing. What is this? A ghost has made it into the main. He's nuking the main production. TY going for the heart of the Protoss. Well, there's what can Parting do? Buildings can't move. Another one! He launches another one. This is one way to remove production. TY has solved, how am I supposed to stop him warping in? Well, there's one way to do it. Direct hit doesn't kill the gates, but he'll have another nuke in a moment. Meanwhile, the bio Parting scrambling. His recall is on cooldown. His production has been hamstrung. The nuclear missiles gutting him while his bases are sniped off by these cheap bio units. Another one! Another one, and this one will kill the gateways. An observer's on the way, but I don't think it's going to be done in time. TY is forced back. The observer is going to be a split second too late, and there go the gateways. TY nuking his way through Parting's production. And he hasn't really lost anything at home. Parting desperate. He's grasping at straws here. He's looking for somewhere to expand. He's now mining from 1.5 bases to TY's 2+. And TY is building up a bank with a maxed out, a forward planetary. There is a disruptor in this army. Parting going to be doing a whole lot of not losing, but the chances of winning have dropped dramatically. He still has 10 gateways. The thing is, if he makes one more mistake, TY will easily run over him. Charge lots actually doing a great job. Tanks on their own are not great at all. They hurt each other just as much as enemies. TY is very reliant on the siege tanks here. He's got 12 of them. So that means if he gets caught unsieged or even a little out of position, yeah, that's the bio army is over here. But he scans, of course, he knows where parting is. He has sensor towers, and where he doesn't, he has easy, well, obvious locations to scan. The armies, it's still just tanks. And, oh my god, the EMP is the Archons are already out of the fight. TY holding his ground, sniping the charge lots. Showing that master class control. Understanding what he needs to do to come out on top. There are 2 carriers on the way for parting, which are a Hail Mary at best. Carriers are a rich man's unit. They're a unit that if you can afford to rebuild those interceptors, then okay. You might reach a critical mass of carriers. And he's up against a player who has a whole bunch of tanks, and tanks, unfortunately, do not shoot up. There's only 16 Marines and 4 Vikings for Entier, so as well as 8 Ghosts, which are not pushovers, but scans. The thing is, the scan did not catch the fleet beacon or the double Stargate production. So there's a dream for parting, a whisper of a dream. But the carriers are still in the mail, and they're not going to be delivered for quite a bit. Storms, good storm, not good enough. There's like 8 medevacs. TY, a big believer in medevacs for all. Vikings on the deck. These charge lots not even getting close to killing a significant amount of units. That forces the army to be recalled back, and that opens up the rest of the map here. There's almost nothing else out here. He can bring the tanks together. Does TY decide? Does TY decide to bring it all together and actually attack this time? Commit all of the tanks. He understands there's no repositioning. A nuclear missile! This is gone. It's all gone. This base is not going to survive. This nuke is going to land! The prompts! On the run, another nuke immediately casted. And he may not realize another nuke was queued up. A Templar from the high ground. The carriers, he has 5 carriers, which has to be enough. There's no other options. He spots the carriers, TY does. He could take out this base and back off. And still, like, immediately making Thors. He's getting he can't really build anything else because his army's still too big. Oh, the Disruptor's chopping off some Marauders. Parting down to 1 base of mining. He's got gas in the bank, but otherwise is mining very little. Looks like the nuke didn't end up killing a critical mass of units. In fact, it looks like the Ghost died. Meanwhile, the carriers have arrived. The tanks are still in range of a lot of the... At this point, TY is just giving up the tanks, it looks like. EMPs are good, but there's not enough anti-air for the rest. Will the carriers save parting? Or will they be the death of him? 3 Thors online. How much? He's got +3 attack. The carriers only have +1. 3 Thors are nothing to sneeze at with that single target high impact mode. Is there building armor? Yes, but the carriers blasting through interceptors. Parting, oh, there's nothing here. He might be able to get some damage done. This is the highest supply Parting's had for quite a while. TY still has money in the bank. Parting's got a lot of work to do still. The carriers worked, but does he stay on them? More disruptors are in production. The charge lots kill 15 SCVs, which is pretty much inconsequential because now TY's army is going to be like 140 supply. Oh no. He lost 3 disruptors for free. The makings of a comeback built off these carriers was just completely shattered. Yeah, the storms are good. So are the Archons. But the mech army has arrived. TY retargets onto the carriers. The Thors barely care about the swarm of bees that are the interceptors. They'll move forward and blast parting out of the sky. Tanks, a handful of charge lots, another disruptor, but there's just not enough. He needs like 15 carriers and a mothership. Thor's obliterating the carriers. Parting is gone in game 1. TY in control of that match from start to finish. I don't think there was at any point, maybe the first few stalkers, but past that, there was almost no point where it felt like Parting really had the run of the place. Whereas TY all over, distributing his units, like the split of the bio units for point defense, and then, or for mobility, and then the siege tanks and ghosts. Like, who builds 3 factory siege tank? Well, there's TY, and also special, and that's about it. So, not a great start for Parting. He hung with him, but it was trending a certain direction. It is a best of 5, which means Parting has more than just the one opportunity. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he breaks out some designated pressure in match 2. And by that I mean, of course, dirty cheese. He's going to wall off against the Reapers. No proxy gates or max paxing or anything silly like that as of yet. TY, like, he just makes Terran, he makes Terran, he teaches people how Terran is supposed to be played. He's not the flashiest microer or has the sneakiest builds. It just, when TY does it, it makes sense. He's always a step ahead. Like, he had ghosts being produced before Parting's Templar archives finished. He switched into tanks before Parting could even threaten him, and by the time he tried to, he had a critical mass of tanks. He's always just a step ahead. I think Parting, he definitely, like, he did kind of a weird stalker build, but he needs to take control of the game pretty early on and force TY to react to him, as opposed to being proactive. SCV scouts in. TY also a player who often SCV scouts. Honestly, with other Terrans, they're not religious about it. Many, like, I'd say about half of other pro Terrans don't SCV scout, or at least they only SCV scout like half the time. And that leaves open opportunities where you'll see games where they just die to early all-ins. That's the simple. It's like, well, even if they scout it, it's already too late. It's going to be a stalker first out of Parting, which is pretty unique as well. Most players opt for the Adept, because the Adept offers you a lot of options early against Reapers and scouting later. The Stalker's more like, I want to poke and prod and actually put pressure on. The Adept is a safer and cheaper option. Twilight Council and a pretty quick Robo. This could just be the safe version, which is make sure I have detection, but it also could be... Would you let me finish my sentence, Mr. Big Boy? That's a Dark Shrine. It also could be something particularly sneaky requiring a warp prism. And a Dark Shrine is on the way. Now, it's in the main. We'll have to see how it does. It is... He's... This is a scouting heli. We've seen this. Oh my god. Oh my god. The probe. The probe micro. And now here comes the Reaper. But the probes box it out. The Reaper gets into the main, though. And the Reaper will... Oh, wait. What is this? He sees the Dark Shrine. The probe defense. The zone defense from the workers was not enough. So now here's the thing about a Dark Shrine. We're gonna go. So, if the Dark Shrine, or let me bring out my, it gets scouted. So then, you gotta respond, or do you? Or is he not gonna build? No Dark Shrine. But if he does build DTs, then just the mind games of having a Dark Shrine, even if it does get scouted, are sometimes the most dramatic part. A DT is already at the natural. He scans it. Oh my god, if it gets away, that's huge. Now 2 DTs slip into the main. He just wasted a scan. Didn't even kill a Dark Templar. But at the same time, it looks like a Widowmine drop killed some probes. 8 probes. A scan does not kill any DTs. A Raven is finally out, but the DT is easily going to be picked right back up. Meanwhile, this time, okay, the DT at the natural. So despite it looking pretty bad for TY, he got the Widowmine drop. This time around, he does not. But the Widowmines might be able to burrow, and they might find kills because of it. Down goes one. Second one targeted down. He has an observer just barely in range. So both players trying some sneaky plays. At the end of the day, I think TY scouting that Dark Shrine paid off for him, despite the DTs getting some damage done. Now he's going for the... I love how Parting will just do this. He's like, well, you know those builds and other matchups people do? Why not this one? And that applies to everything. Like, he'll go double Prism, Charge Lot Archon. He's got only the 1 Prism for now. You gotta be careful. Interference Matrix, super dangerous. TY, I'm surprised he used an auto turret there. That feels like a bit of a panicky response. He could have used Interference Matrix when he had enough energy, 75, at the right time, and kept the Archons from escaping. It feels like he panicked a little. The Archons just don't seem to care until they do, and he loses one. So, Party a little lazy on the on the micro there. Archons have a whole lot of shields, but they do die eventually. You gotta be a little careful. TY scanning the natural. I assume that's for checking if he has gas mining. I'm kind of surprised he went for the natural scan as the choice. Blink is finishing up. +1 attack is on the way. Everything's coming together for Parting. He's got a slight worker lead. And another big part is TY went for the 1-1-1. He didn't have a whole bunch of production early. He's getting a 3rd command center now, but he didn't have a whole lot of production early, so he can't turn that around into some sort of attack that's going to be remarkably effective. He has 3 tanks. He's got a bunch of Marines. He's going for Cloaked Banshees, which means... There it is. TY taking us on an all-expenses-paid trip to McDonald's. That happened. And he's going to make it happen. While he's... Oh, no, Parting! Disastrous. I think the Archons did their work. They did enough. But now Parting is forced to play pretty defensive. And also, with that many Marines, you're not going to expect mech. The Observer spotted this. He's holding the blink. He gets the blink off, and 1 Banshee is down. Yeah. 2 Cloaked Banshees coming in might be a little suspicious. The response to mech, and I'm very excited to see, like, pure mech. well, not pure, but TY doing what I think a lot of people can learn from. He built Marines until he didn't need to build Marines. Okay, you might need units early, build Marines, fine. And then go mech. It's not that expensive. Those tanks, yeah. Deja vu. A whole bunch of tanks and no way to touch them. Parting, have you learned? What have you learned? Because this is, also that's a little awkward. The observer dies, right? Oh, scan almost running out. Okay, not almost, but oh yeah, he's learned. Not just one, but another base. He's gonna be taking his half of the map because he can. There's no way TY can move out for the next, probably at least a minute. So Parting can spend this time building up his infrastructure, and then he's gonna want to play some offensive defense. The best defense is a good offense, especially against mech. You can't let him siege up at the bottom of the ramp or put you up against your nexus. No. You have to fight him on his turf, so that way you can warp in and fight again. It's almost like playing a Zerg, because mech units are super cost-effective, but they are pretty slow, and they take a while to build. So you get up in their grill, and Parting loves that brawler style. He's not a spellcasting supreme late game, like let's draw it out for 40 minutes type of guy. He wants to get up in there, and he wants to give you the business, as they say. What business is that, and how well does TY handle it? We'll have to see. TY, quite a businessman himself. Here come the Hyperflight Banshees, killing a significant amount of probes, and there's nothing besides Phoenixes who can catch them. Blank Stalkers can get some shots off, but at some point you're just going to need to be building cannons. TY somehow, he's playing mech, yet he's ahead in supply, despite taking damage early. I'm excited. I really like, I think, especially if you're up against a player who hasn't been specifically countering mech, the Cloak Banshees are a real kicker. Because they do enough damage that you can't just fight them with cannons. Like, you have 4 or 5 Banshees, they just kill cannons. So you have to have units or go Stargate. And then that means the standing army isn't as strong. TY taking his 4th. Calm and collected, adding a couple turrets, making sure the TPM, the turrets per minute, stay high. I don't know why Parting has random warp prisms over here, but he does. Oh, one Cyclone getting caught out, and now Parting decides, well, hello, I guess I'm just gonna fight you. The Dorito dust all over the Archons and some Stalkers. We'll force them over to the side. 1-1 isn't yet done. +2, 1-1 isn't done for TY, but +2 is done for Parting. There are no tanks. Blink Stalkers against Cyclone Hellion. The Blink Stalkers, especially with these upgrades, can easily snipe off. Down goes the 4th command center. Parting, not letting TY have the map like last time. He's picking his fights. Now, here go the Banshees. Oh, blinking in, blinking over. And is he just going to continue? The Banshees are looking for some counter damage. An awkward angle for Parting to come in. The Banshees are now sitting on the 5th base of Parting. Or they were. Looks like TY was microing on the other side. Parting still struggling. He has no detection here. He has to recall, I don't know how many units. He's going to recall a whole bunch, but I don't believe he recalled an observer, which is a sticking point when it comes to the Hyperflight Banshees. TY holding it together. He still has most of his tanks. He lost a lot of his more mobile units, but the Banshees mean that the Stalkers were forced to pull back. And how many Warp Prisms are going to die? There's another Warp Prism over here. When in doubt, build more Warp Prisms. He's already lost 2, but you just keep building more. Parting, he's left. Oh my god! I don't know. It's only 16, but still. Yeah, he's pretty gateway heavy. He built every single one in the main, so it looks super. Like, 16 is pretty crazy, but it's not, like, out of the question. It just looks very impressive. Meanwhile, Parting comes in with his very heavy gateway units. The tanks are holding. He's trying to trade. He doesn't have to trade well. He just needs to make sure he whittles down key units. Parting gets beaten back, but there's another warp in. There's always more where that came from. Where are the Archons? Meanwhile, a few charge lots on this base. Not going to find much, but delay the command center. If he can keep TY off of a 4th base while mining from 5 or maybe even 6, well, there are options there. A couple Archons on the way. Parting, a big fan of the brute force style. As we see here, the cancel. TY gonna give up that position. And Parting continues to leverage his economic lead. And before it maybe becomes a little out of the question, he's adding 2 Stargates. There are still... Now this is the issue. The Banshees. Is there a recall? There's no recall for a few seconds. Some Templar will be warped in. Will we be able to get feedbacks and Archons off? A few feedbacks, which means no energy. Get those Archons, run! Everybody has to come back, though. The Banshees doing a whole lot of damage. They don't have upgrades, but they just have a lot of base damage. One Banshee split off. The other ones. This is the hit squad keeping TY going here. But finally, Parting is adding on some gates that aren't just warp gates. Another command center. That's the main, which has been repositioned into the 4th. TY getting a little desperate, but still very much in this. He's maxed out. He's got 2-2. Parting is going for +3, but no armor upgrades. TY has 13 tanks. A scan. He's looking for Stargates. Has he seen the Stargates in the main? I think he just sniped an observer there. Phoenix. And he has speed observers. Parting may have found the only spot not well protected. A few more tanks come out, though. And good luck coming up this ramp, especially between a rock and a hard place. More Widow Mines. Does he have drilling claws? He does. There should be observers with this. This is a mess of a fight here. He's going for the base. He blinks to the side. Fusion core is on the way for TY. He's really pressing the issue. He's down to 69 workers, which is pretty nice. Still strong army supply. Parting, he's running out of time to make the trades here, essentially. He's running out of... oh, God. Okay. Well, that one was bad. Yeah, that one made the difference. He's now 8,000 resources in the hole. He's out of gas as well. Like, the tanks hold. He's got 17 tanks and very little else. But 17 tanks... just anything on the ground evaporates before it gets close. The Banshees are spotted here. Parting, I think he did his last attack there. Or at least it should be his last attack with that army composition. It's just, there are too many tanks now. There are just too many. You need something, you need Tempests or carriers. I don't know. Does he dive on this command center? He's really playing the economic-ish game. He forces a lift, but Parting really needs to be thinking about what he's doing next now. Oh, more charge lots coming in. The Widow Mines taking out tanks. He gets one. He really doesn't care about the lives of his units, and in the long term, that might be okay if he can deny these bases. There are battle cruisers on the way. Not a bad, okay, actually no, a pretty terrible engagement. Parting really doesn't care about his units. Oh, the cost efficiency continues to plummet. He's now 11,000 resources down. Battlecruisers in production, TY has reached the late game, despite barely mining from a 4th or a 5th base. Parting is refusing to give up his strategy of brute force. Battlecruiser has arrived. Does he have Yamato? He does not. I'm sure that'll be added soon. +3 mech armor is on the way. Does he have any ship weapons? He has +1 ship weapons. Harding trying to come up. Harding. He's running out of runway. He's running out of real estate. Down goes the observer. And then the Banshee's cloak. You gotta look at other options. The observers are there. He's actually gonna snipe off 1 or 2 of the Banshees. Harding warps in. 11 more zealots. The battlecruisers are heading across the map. The planetary will be targeted. It can't lift. He jumps back into the fray. The battlecruisers in support. A bunch of SCVs down with it. How much anti-air is here for Harding? He breaks through. That was real damage. There's still a couple Banshees. Harding has all of the bases on his side of the map. He's got 78 probes. He's mining out of... He's mostly on the minerals. He's finding opportunities where tanks are not. And he will actually be able to close the distance. A couple more tanks going down. Is he winning the war of attrition, or are the battlecruisers becoming too much of a threat? Another wave of charge lots. He can't defend everywhere at once. Harding has absolutely no fucks to give about cost effectiveness. He will give the lives of every single charge lot, Stalker and Archon, if it means he can kill one more base. He has the economy to fall back on. TY is at 0 minerals. He's spending money repairing, which means he doesn't have any income to build anything else. Harding may have tilted over into being more cost-effective. More charge lots to the north! TY suffering serious SCV losses now. He's down to 41. There's a badly bruised orbital. It's being targeted. The SCVs will repair. No building armor. TY. He's dipping in supply. Mech armor level 3. It appears the first and third bases have been lifted. TY running out of options for mining. Harding, not so much. He may have actually cracked him here. He's still... Oh, the SCVs! Where are you going? He scans the base. TY getting desperate. The battlecruisers are everything. That's all he has. TY has 6 battlecruisers. Is that enough? We're about to find out. More SCVs being warped in. Yamato on the Stalkers. He's killing all these probes. 14 SCVs going down now. TY. His only care in the world is about these battlecruisers. He's jumping away. He just jumps everything. He literally doesn't really have the income to repair. How many tanks left? 8 tanks. Harding is mining from everywhere. He lost 16 probes, but he has more to replace them. Harding showing how not to break a mech Terran, but eventually showing that more stuff counters less stuff. So you gotta appreciate that. The charge lot's looking for an opportunity. Harding. Still not maxed out. He hasn't been maxed out much of this. He's lost 15,000 more resources, including 2,000 more gas. I don't know why the tanks are... The army supply is still in favor of TY. He's working on those tactical jump cooldowns. But Harding, he's mining from the whole damn map. Essentially, all but one base that TY doesn't have is taken by Harding. There's just not enough stuff. He jumps the battlecruisers out of position. Oh, TY. There's the base on the high ground. This orbital command, I don't think, is going to make it. Target fire by Parting. Down it goes. Parting. TY is now supply blocked. But the battlecruisers, they just used tactical jump. Parting, I guess he could recall to this base, but is it worth it? The battlecruisers killed the Nexus pretty quick. But Parting will use this opportunity to try to break him one last time. The tank's trying to hold. He's right on top of all of them. He blinks into the center mass without the battlecruisers to save the day. Parting has finally broken TY after 24 minutes of throwing away hundreds of zealots and stalkers. There's only one command center left. He still has the battlecruisers and the boys, but he doesn't really have the money to even repair them. The last flight of the cruisers. There's just too many of them. He target fires Yamato. G. I need to get a count. 262 zealots, 20 archons, 69 stalkers going down in this nice game. 29 tanks, 524 supply of zealots died. But the game was won. It's all tied up. Parting, not a big fan of the careful, controlled late game. Parting proving that more shit counters less shit. Parting tying it up with TY. Game 3. I didn't think it was going to work. I thought that one attack where Parting dipped to like 100, where the tanks, he didn't even kill a single tank. I underestimated his commitment to the gateway strategies. Severely underestimated. And I think so did TY. I think TY was like, alright, so now you're going to go Stargate. Or something like that, right? Parting's like, what if I just made, now get this, 200 more charge lots? Just 200. Give or take. So, like, Parting's specialty in the past, when he became world champion and today, is not his strong, reliable macro, or even necessarily his great micro. It is his ability to just win. Players like him, like SOS, like MC in the past, they just understand, oh, I can win. And they go. It might take a bit, it might happen quickly, but they go for the win. Even if it doesn't make sense, even if common sense is like, no, sit back and build a Stargate and do all that. He tried that game 1. See how it worked out. We'll see how game 3 goes. The boys trying to box out the probe as it tries to force the command center to be built in an inconvenient location. A Reaper. TY not taking the chances here. He didn't SCV scout this game, but he did look around his base. That probe has... Will he find the soon-to-be Stargate? We will see. 3. Oh, he canceled a probe for it. It's like, no, I need this Stargate. This Stargate is happening. Or he canceled Warp Gate. I'm not sure what it was. Parting is committed. He is expanding, but at the same time. Oh. TY. Dun 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 dun. Oh, he didn't. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, he just gave up. TY was so close to seeing this. Just a split second away. But now, the chances of him having anti-air in position for it are incredibly small. There are Widowmines on the way, but he doesn't know to... Well, why did that Adept just decide to shade in? Okay, but... Stalkers are out. Where will the Widowmines burrow? Because a lot of professional... Wait, is that enough? Is that a wall? That wall's out Hellions? Okay, today I learned. A lot of pro players will be very careful with their first Oracle. Let's see if Parting plays carefully. Nope. He just rallied into the mineral. He's like, oh, okay. I guess we're doing this. Ah. Like, a lot of players will be like, is there a mine here? Parting. We'll do it live. Get to 5 SCV kills. There's a Widow mine. Oracle's dead. But no cares in the world. 5 kills and leaving him on the... He's like, well, I hope you didn't have another Widow mine. I bet you didn't. I'm back in the bang. And another Widow mine, and Oracle's dead. But still. Meanwhile, the Widow mine drop on the other side. Parting suffering from a severe lack of fucks to give. As he shuts this down. He lost. Whoa, 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 12 probes! This mine! Oh, he even faked me out. It can't escape. Well, sir, you are wanted for murder! But 12 probe kills. Suddenly TY right back in it. If that mine hadn't been able to burrow and hadn't been well, if he had reacted to it, then Parting could find himself in a decent lead here, but getting 12 probe kills is more than enough to leave him in a tough spot. So am I about to watch what I think I'm about to watch happen? Oh, wait. No, wait. Oh, there's 2. Wait, he could land it. Okay. I will die with my feet on the ground, metaphorically. Or I don't want to live at all. The Viking, a true warrior. Meanwhile, the Widowmine drop comes in. 3 more kills, it seems. TY going bio this time around, but he's got his 3rd command center first. Relying on the map. Oh. He can pick up the mines. He has the energy for another, right? Yeah. A little bit of add-on switching. TY going to be building up. There are 4 Phoenixes. Parting has made use of this Stargate. He can actually just kill the Marines to an extent, which is kind of awkward. He gets the SCV. Okay, so this is not great. Oh, wait, where are you going? Funny, a little lazy with his Phoenixes. But yeah, Parting... Oh my god. Just kind of YOLOing in with the Phoenixes. There's a Viking for harass headed to the other side. There's almost nothing there. He drops it on the edge of the base where it's unscouted. The Viking just gets up in there. Gonna kill some probes. Does a pretty good job against the probes, to be honest. Like, he realizes his time is limited, so... Wait, he recalls? Is that even quicker? Okay, 5 probes go down. This is a messy game. More SCVs. His production SCVs. So TY taking constant jabs from the Phoenixes. But keeping Parting a little busy at least. We've got Stim Pack and +1 on the way. That is a medevac full of Widow Mines. He doesn't have Drilling Claws, right? Oh, that's an important medevac not to lose! Oh, no! Oh, TY! I don't even think Parting realized. Parting, like, oh, I got a medevac. Nice. TY, understanding how devastating that was. The turret finds a kill or two on the way out. A real messy game, as both sides keep stabbing at one another. Parting just keeps expanding. He's got... Wait, does he have charge? He has charge done. +1 armor's finishing up. He just keeps building Phoenixes. He's going to make full use of this Stargate while he has it. Well, that is about the end of the use. TY has been trying to stabilize here. He's done a pretty good job. Parting throws his army out on the map, despite it not really being of the size to really put damage on the TY. I don't know. He has a lot of charge lots, but... The very first robotics facility is finally being built. Infantry Weapons 1 on the way. A nice positioning here to deal with charge lots. I think TY has figured out what he's up against. Widow Mines, Ghosts. Oh, Stim's a handful. That's a lot of charge lots. Get back behind our lines. Oh, the Widow Mines. Huge connection. And every charge lot dissipates. Oh, that mine hit was big. TY tucking his Widow Mines into nice locations. Parting not seeming to care as he continues to build charge lots. How many? There's 10 gateways and counting for Parting. Here we go again. Stargate, finally, after 10 minutes taken out. 4th Command Center, delayed. SCV, very unhappy day. These charge lots are just going to kind of die, at least most of them. A lot of armies moving around the map here. This one is enough to kill these medevacs, but the distribution of individual groups of units... Okay, that doesn't make sense, but the distribution of units is super important in TY. He's doing a great job of it so far, but if he makes one big mistake, then Parting comes in and kills all his SCVs. Parting, as we've already learned, is incredibly uncaring about the lives of his charge lots. The question is, can I warp in more? Meanwhile, yeah, that army isn't gonna cut it. Force fields keeping things at bay. More charge lots on the left. He's even got a forward super pylon with the gateway. Meanwhile, being driven across the map, the sentries gunned down. He didn't want them anyways. They're not charge lots. Blink and +1 and Storm are on the way. Are there any Templar? No, he warped in no Templar, so he doesn't have that option. But charge lots at the back. He's going to be able to take out the tanks, and he's in the mineral line. TY going to be directing his efforts forward for the most part. The 4th Command Center delayed. A whole bunch of SCVs taking, well, losing their lives here. Is there enough to deal with this on the low ground? The Vikings helping zone out. A couple Stalkers going to gun them down. 1-1 is done for the bio. Storm is the kicker here. Storm is the most important part of this. Finally, the charge lots are going to be cleaned up, and TY backs off. He's got 2-2 on the way. He might have been able to do some damage there with good EMPs. He scouts the 4th, and that is the juicier target. Spots the army as well. The Ghosts, they could EMP the Phoenixes. A Venn Diascan even coming through. Another EMP hits all the sentries, but he hasn't yet spotted the Templar. The whole army bearing down on the 4th. The Widow Mine's in a tough position for Parting. He's just got to go in. Storms across the board. EMP hits before a second wave can connect. A bunch of reinforcements from both sides piling in. More Templar. And also more bio as well. There's a lack of splash damage. Are the EMPs there? He gets the EMP, but the Archon is already merging. Another storm, way off the mark. He's got the Warp Prism for reinforcement, so TY has so much Terran. He interrupts the warp in, and suddenly he's working through everything else. The base is gone, and all the probes will be eliminated. TY piling into the engagement in a timely manner. Parting, not able to get the splash damage out. That's a whole lot of badly bruised, drug-addicted Marines and Marauders. But there's just not enough charge lots to close the distance. And TY taking a decisive engagement. Parting stretched too thin and too late on his tech. He's looking like... At this point for Parting, he's trying for Colossi. He hasn't retaken a fourth of any kind. The economic lead he kind of had going for him is gone. The unit composition is mediocre. The upgrades are alright, but the economy is not. Parting is... Does he even have any Templar? He has 0 Templar. TY scanning for bases. He understands that if this is Parting's army, he should be able to beat it. Where are the EMPs? One turning around. This is the closest Parting is going to get to having an army that can beat TY. Assuming no Templar. Where are the SCVs going? Well... Oh, if he had gotten a few more than that. The Colossus joining the party. A little bit late to it, though. 2 bases on the way. Parting even... Oh, that... Yep, that Colossus is all on its own. But TY almost getting baited into a terrible fight. Parting keeping it together. 3-3 is on the way. A slight upgrade advantage now for Parting, but that's going to change soon. There's still the Super Pylon. The medevacs are almost entirely out of energy. These units have been asked to stim so much. And Parting can just jump on this base. Will he be able to kill it before TY responds? The answer is no. Charge lots being shaved off. There isn't anything to hold this position. There's a couple Vikings, no Liberators, a handful of Ghosts, but everything's all clumped up here. Oh, more EMPs. Those ones were big across many of the key units. This is TY's former main command center. A Liberator finds a couple kills, but the Stalkers will be warped in to deal with it. Parting still scratching at opportunities. The charge lot's delayed. The 4th or 5th or whatever base this is. But... Oh, Liberator finally taken out. TY hasn't really been rebuilding SCVs very consistently. Oh, Storm. More Storm. Well, Marauder just really wanted to die. There's a Templar Prism. He works forward. The EMPs, the pre-EMPs. Some units run through a Storm. That positioning is just not going to work. A very forward Storm idea out of Parting. The thing is, the medevacs are really struggling to keep these units at full HP. Most of them are bruised from stim or something, well, something similar. Another command center going to be targeted. Parting starting to take back some control of this game, especially considering he double expanded. Another army. It looks like this one was going for a counterattack, but had to be pulled back to defend. The Planetary adding some damage, but is it enough? The Terran pincer attack. Who's flanking who? There's a Planetary and bio units on both sides. Has Parting gone too far? Or has TY not been able to catch up? Parting has lost a whole lot of his key units. He's down to just Stalkers and charge lots. Are there Templar? Where are those Templar? Why are they over here? A whole lot of medevacs really struggling. Parting needs to hold on to this base. Oh, the Ghosts! Reinforcing! Find the Templar! The Storm is okay. Ghosts a little bit late to the party. Even Probes getting in on the action. Does Parting have enough? The medevacs have no energy. They can't really heal these units. The blink is used. Probes pulled and dead. It looks like Parting will just barely hold, and only because of the lack of medevac energy. How has it come to this? That army, like, if those medevacs had the energy, the army easily wins. But one of the few scenarios where pulling probes to block is enough. Ghost targeted. Still enough left over. There are some disruptors. Oh, a lot of key units were warped into the south. I guess he could recall. There's one disruptor. There's one. He's got to fire a big shot. He does! TY, the curveball, not incredible. Meanwhile, some Archons. The disruptor will be targeted down. Where did these Templar come from? The Ghosts don't get their EMPs. He's trying to at least land some storms. Couple Archons are evaporated. The Templar are gonna go down. He's looking for a big storm. It's not big enough. The medevac's still struggling for energy. Another round of charge lots warped in, but the EMPs really reduced that effective HP as well. No more splash damage from the Archon. Reinforcements, 2 fresh medevacs. Parting is coming in from both sides, but it's not enough to break the critical mass of Bio. Is there any more splash? He's got 1 disruptor and a dream. That is it. Snipes coming through. He's got a fire, but TY forces the split, and there it is. TY up 2-1. It was close, but Parting ran out of steam. We're on match point. I don't even know. I felt like TY, he won a fight, and then he should be able to just clean it up from there, but Parting wouldn't stop fighting. He doesn't go down easy. So it's 2-1. A lot closer than, honestly, I kind of expected. But with that, and match point, we got to take our cues from the professionals at professional tournaments. And what I mean is, now that we're on match point, it's time to get all those ads out of the way. So if you guys could pause ad block, that'd be awesome. Thank you for watching. I'll be right back. Alright everyone, welcome back. I'm Winter, and I'm here to tell you how to get all these amazing replays for your very own content without being obligated to watch other people live. All you have to do is subscribe to Wardy TV, twitch.tv/Wardy, with 3 eyes, because that's very easy to remember, on Twitch. And if you subscribe there, his curated and comprehensive replay pack will make it so you can avoid watching his stream ever again. Make sure to subscribe to twitch.tv/Wardy to get more replays from tournaments like Wardy TV 2020 and also all the other tournaments pretty much all the time, so that way you don't have to wake up at ungodly hours like he does. Thank you to Wardy for providing all of this for everyone. And also, if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe, because not only does that make YouTube feel like you actually like my content, it's more likely to want your personal data by watching my videos. So watch those videos today, like and subscribe, and comment on, like, why doesn't Parting just use Storm more? In all of my games, I'm a Diamond Terran player, so I pretty much understand the game at a Grandmaster level if I played Zerg. Why doesn't Parting just build more Storm? I don't know. And if you're watching on Twitch, make sure to check if you have Amazon Prime, or you already know when you have Twitch Prime, you can subscribe for free. If you don't subscribe to Wardy or this very moment, it's essentially like losing money. So, do all of those things. You have very limited time before the next match. There's no way to pause. It's illegal. No way to speed up, slow down, skip, nothing like that, especially if we're doing it live. So thank you, good luck, and good night. Thank you guys for sticking around. I know ads are loud and annoying, but you gotta make that dirty esports money. Starcraft 2 in 2020. Now, a very unbiased and scientifically controlled question. If I'll be right back, just one moment. Don't skip past because you're going to want to see the answer to this. What race is most imbalanced? We will treat the answer to this as fact. And remember, if you subscribe, your vote counts for 3 times as much because you gave me money. I'll be right back. Alright, so what we've decided is Protoss is OP, and everybody's just covering for them. I knew it all along. Glad to know. Jimmy! Thank you. Welcome back to the Wardy TV 2020 Super Amazing Ultimate Awesome Tournament, which is exactly what it was called for sure. TY versus Parting. TY up 2-1. This is a lot closer than I expected. TY, well, I think it's partially because TY keeps continually getting surprised by how willing Parting is to commit to gateway-based styles. Parting is max paxing. The max pax build in 2020. The forward gateway, because Protoss players learn, like, instead of just building a gateway in my base, why don't I just build a gateway by their base? And you can pretty much do the same thing, but even quicker. And especially if they don't SCV scout, which it seems TY has yet to do so. It can do potentially game-ending damage. Alright, here comes SCV. Parting really trying. Okay, so he's placed this, I think, perfectly to not be scouted by the SCV. We're gonna... calculated. But wasting as little time as possible while doing so. He almost... I was wondering why he hesitated with the probe. It would have been a giveaway that he was doing something at least a little bit sneaky if he had sent that probe in immediately. Slapping down the next like, TY, for realsies, I'm expanding! Bro! Now will TY realize, immediately makes the bunker. He's like, wait a second. Late expo. There's no gateway in your base. The probe. The damage that was dealt earlier, a major factor. The Marines stopping everybody from getting out of the base. Down goes the probe. But the SCV is getting sliced up. Another Zealot is on the way. The bunker, the SCV on the bunker, though, is unfortunately struggling. Another Zealot coming in. The bunker's nearly complete. The second Zealot makes all the difference. Oh, we got one Marine. No, the SCV. Ah! Oh, my God. The SCV, a traitor to the Marines, almost blocking the second Marine out. He actually got one hit off, but the hammer didn't come down. Oh, these Marines. This is like a micro-trainer map now. Unfortunately, that micro-trainer is not going to be very helpful when a Stalker walks up. Oh my God! He's done it! The absolute madman! The Max Pax destroys TY! There's just too much damage! And he ties it all up! Parting. Willing to gamble it all. As they say, you must risk it in order to attain the biscuit. Game 5 on Eternal Empire. The macro map. We will see. He's not going to be able to pull down one on TY again. And also, this map is less... It's the longest rush distance, or at least close to it. The most defensive second and third bases. It's the map you see the 25, 30-minute games on so reliably. Now, parting is parting and doesn't always abide by basic rules of common sense and logic. But TY definitely does. So. No max packs this time. He did, once again, so throughout the whole series, Parting has still shown his own unique style. His very mid-game gateway unit focus. Losing over 200 Zealots in a game, that might be a record. I'm sure there's been a game where I've seen more, but it's pretty damn close. Nexus is on the way. One gate expand, one racks expand. We're going back to the macro playbook. Parting with a, not a later second guess, but wait, where's he gonna put his pylon? He's faking his second pylon. He's faking a proxy Stargate now. Like, there's no reason to put your pylon there except to hide it explicitly from the SCV. Oh my, is it gonna work though? Like, is he gonna scout for it? If he hadn't started Warp Gate, I think it would have really sold it for him, but... I mean, he's gonna go Stargate. I'm actually a little surprised he went Stargate anyways, after all that, but... Because... I think he did a great... Like, right now, TY's like, I know you know how to build your second pylon. You've obviously watched Winter's guides. Yeah, the SCVs are scouring. I mean, now here's the real mind game. It looks like a proxy Stargate, and it's still a Stargate, but it's not proxied. So, next level plays. TY panicking. This is the level. This is the professional version of panicking, by the way. Like, I don't see anything, guys. I don't know. Like, maybe DTs. It's above my pay grade. Reaper looking for an opportunity. I'm not sure what the sentry is for, but I bet the sentry has some. Oh my god. He's going to hallucinate a Phoenix. Because you know what will convince your opponent you're not actually going Stargate? When they see you hallucinated. The thing is, he's gonna see the Stargate, even though the Oracle is hallucinated, while he's building a Phoenix. Parting really wishing... Oh, it's working! The fact he saw the Stargate is the real mind game here. I don't... So Parting, with the next level, oh, he's gonna just soften up. You know, hallucinations at this rate could be deadly. But, by the way, TY is going battlecruiser because he's proxying a fusion core. Now, here's the thing. I think this could actually work, because Phoenixes don't really counter battlecruisers. Because they just shrug it off, the flying laser bathtubs. It's barely any damage. Well, like, if there's like 6 Phoenixes, but he's never gonna expect a battlecruiser. Are you insane? Meanwhile, the Phoenixes doing their thing. And TY proxied the fusion core. Oh, and the Widowmine. Oh, well, Parting. That was like the worst case scenario there. That TY doesn't have... Well, he hasn't been pumping the SCVs as religiously as he could have. He's really focused on this cruiser. I have no idea how much damage it's going to do. I'm just excited for it to exist. Oh my god. He doesn't want... He keeps trying to... It's almost like a mental thing. Like, I'm gonna make your Widowmine kill more of your units. Then, surprise! It's a battlecruiser! Oh, and how are you gonna stop that? How many? He only has 2 gates. He's pumping out Phoenixes. Guardian Shield is helpful. He targets it down, though. The Happy Ship don't care. Is there enough to stop this, is the question. He's just gonna go for the workers. He can... This is essentially the most expensive possible worker harass unit that exists. Are there enough Phoenixes to kill this? Yes? I want to say yes. Yes. Yeah. He's gonna kill 1. Like, 4 or 5 Phoenixes is enough. It still doesn't go down easy, but meanwhile, surprise! Here comes everybody else. This is a weird amount of Marines. He's going Bio Cruiser, so he's gonna go Bio behind. He's building another battle cruiser, though. So, is there an observer? Yes. Oh, but he kills the observer! He gets a pickup, though, but the Widowmine connects! There's another mine! He drags it over the army, picks up the tank, knocks down the tank. Does he pick up the tank? This is such a confusing fight. The Marines are just kind of doing their thing. Battlecruiser! Where the battlecruiser jumps to the natural! He's in the net! But he lost a whole lot of Phoenixes! The battlecruiser's killing probes! And 1 Phoenix is not gonna cut it! The probes are dying, but not that many of them. There's enough stalkers to make things difficult here. Is he building any more feet? He's just building more gates. The battlecruiser should live through this. Meanwhile, wait, can the stalkers even... Oh my god, 1 stalker. Oh, come back! Finish the pylon! Yamato is on the way, indicating that indicating that TY... Oh, get off me! Get out of here, you bitch. Don't look at me. He's going to be going Bio Battlecruiser, which doesn't even really make sense, but, I mean... Anyways, so he's gonna have... Battlecruiser's not bad at sniping warp prisms. And/or colossi. This has gotten so... There, by the way, there's... What? There's a void ray. Followed him across the map. Oh, he's jumping! Where is he jumping? Wait, what? Was that battlecruiser on the other side? It got 5 kills. Wait, is that the first? I'm within the second cruiser. I don't know. Whoa! Whoa, Jimmy! Jimmy, calm down. Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, we went through a dimensional vortex there. Hate when that happens. Yamato Cannon is finishing up. Everybody has to calm down after the dramatic early game. TY has not so smoothly transitioned into bio, but he will be there. Parting, as usual, is down in supply. He seems to really focus so much on fighting, he just doesn't have that huge swell of units. These battle cruisers are all on their own. Is Blink done? No, Blink has not even been started. Battle cruiser, and now suddenly everybody's here. Jump! Oh, down go! He sniped the Colossus with 2 Yamatos, and now the Prism. Okay. That is a risky warp in there. 4 of the Tecta boys are like, "Sir, could you please come home so we could repair you without the risk of getting killed?" And he jumps! Wait, what? To the corner. What is in here? Templar. It's a storm drop with 2 HP in the prism. And plenty of shields, but still. Liberator range is on the way. TY has... It's looking more and more like most of the later games in this series. Is Storm done? Storm isn't done. So that Prism is carrying a lot of precious cargo right now. What happened to the battlecruiser? There's no longer a battlecruiser. That's the answer. The Quadra drop. Is there a recall? He didn't recall recently, right? Yeah. But there's not energy. There's energy in the main. The army's coming back. He spots this. He's got to target down that Void Ray at the very least. He's going to kill several probes. Oh, the Warp Prism! He gets the Templar Prism! The victory! Honestly, all these units are almost worth that. Get in, get out. Get paid. Most of the Marines and Marauders lose their lives, but he got the Storm Prism, and now there's no Templar for Parting. Come on, Parting. Parting really empathizing with all of us plebs out there who select army and lose their key units, even though they know they shouldn't. Parting is back to the very gateway heavy army composition. Zealots and Stalkers. He's got +2. He's going to have +1 armor. 2 2s on the way for TY. It ain't done yet. He just blinks in. Are there Templar in that prism? Yes, there are. But Ghost's already done for TY. Wow, Parting, what are you doing? He's insane. He really does not care about his units. Parting is on 5 bases to 4 of TY. All he has to do is crack 1, and he has a significant advantage. But 2-2 is about to finish up for TY. Guardian Shield activated. That's essentially like putting out your peacock feathers, saying, "Let's go, bro!" And that's how Parting talks. Actually, it's kind of how Parting talks. But the storms are good. He gets the planetary objective complete. Another storm. If Parting backs off now, he's already won. That was... He got the planetary. Objective gaming. Doesn't matter how many men are lost, how many loyal zealots, but instead, how many he can replace them with. Meanwhile, the Prism... Oh, that Templar doesn't have the energy. This army could be crushed by TY with a few good EMPs. Parting being out here is a risk. There's a drop on the other side. He didn't find the fusion core, but the fusion core's already served its purpose. Meanwhile, the drop is in the southern base. Archon targeted. Gateway units are not gonna cut it. The Zealots, they force the drop to move over to the north, but more probes are going to die. TY suddenly up 40 supply. More charge lots running in, farting all over the place. He's flailing. How much damage can he get done? That looks like the drop is cleaned up. More probes must be produced. The fourth base for TY. What is it, the back? There's a prism back here. What are you doing? The Liberators will use their little scene anti-air attack. Down it goes. Liberated. With extreme prejudice. More Archons on the way. A scan looking for observers from TY. How much production is there? There's 10 gateways, 2 robos. Parting still looking to leverage this position and really pound the point home. He doesn't want to go to Stargate. He doesn't want to be going back and forth with a bunch of spellcasters. He wants to bring the hammer down, throw a rock through TY's window. +3 on the way for TY, +2 armor, +3 attack is already done for Parting. He spots the army. No disruptors in the mix, I don't think. No. So no, the only splash damage are, well, non-disruptor based. EMPs, most of the army stripped of shields. The quadra drop, I don't know if the observer saw that. He's going to use the Liberators as cover. He's got ranged libs. This is it. This is the big fight TY's been waiting for. Are there enough storms to deal with this? The Venn diagram of freedom. Parting is going to have to give up his natural with no damage on the other side. Meanwhile, TY has established 5 bases, and he's not being contested. Parting is he going to base trade? He's kept some Colossi intact. TY has grouped the reinforcements over to the right flank. The Robo Bay will fall. Will it be replaced? Parting has money. He's targeting the planetary. He's running out of time to do it cleanly. Is there a cloak for these ghosts? No, he doesn't have the enhanced shockwaves either. Meanwhile, oh no, the Colossi! He lost all his Colossi! Everyone was looking the other way, including me. Parting, scrambling for options. There's still a Phoenix left over from before. Oh, he's jumping on this. There's no planetary here, but the angling is still really tough. The reinforcements are coming home in TY if he brings everything to bear. Parting is bringing his reinforcements as well. Parting definitely taking a loss in that scenario. But he's not out of it yet. He did lose key tech. He lost his Robo Bay and his forges. Not that forges are a huge factor right now. It's going to be 3-2 against 3-3. TY has maxed out his upgrades. He's making his unit composition better. He's already maxed out banking money. He's floated his main command center at some point. I'm not sure when. It might be his northern base. And Parting has to, at this point, what is the play? He's rebuilding the Robo Bay. Things like disruptors are maybe the option. He's really hoping to catch TY off guard. He's got to cut down on that Liberator count. Parting, where are you going? Oh, God. The Liberator's doing pretty well for themselves. And TY gonna force a hard decision here. Liberators on the probes! The Terran army's in the third! Warpins aren't gonna be enough! Parting is trying to go up the ramp, but TY stops him there too! There's a lot of Templar with Storm. But if anything survives, he might be able to kill it. 25 probes! Several of these Archons! He has to recall away! The Archons will die! Parting, devastated on every front. TY closes the door on him. Parting gets a few of the medevacs on the way out, but it's nothing compared with the damage that was inflicted. Parting has lost 13,000 more resources. The EMPs and the snipes. No mercy and no survivors, says TY. There's a storm, but the liberation has begun. Parting is down to 42 workers. He's down 50 in the supply count. His army supply is comparable. He's not going to be able to replace any of it, though. Not really. The Stalkers taking out the Planetary. TY splits off to defend. Recall was already used. Disruptor's on the way. The last real mining base here for parting. The strength of the unit count. Oh my god, the Liberators! TY looking at checkmate, the chessmaster. Surviving. GG! TY holds on, proves himself in a longer match. Parting not able to hang with him. And that means TY is going to come out on top. 3-2 in this Wardy TV 2020 match. Thank you to Wardy again. Go check him out. Get your very own replay pack. And of course, you can watch the games live. And if you enjoyed my breakdown, like and subscribe and a kappa in the chat and say, well, TY just abused Imba Terran by controlling Liberators and Ghosts and Bio and Tanks and Mech perfectly. And that's the only reason why you won. And all of those things. Ring the bell. What else? How else do we sell out? Audible.com. Audible.com. Go fuck yourself. Thank you guys for watching. Good luck. And have fun. I'll see you next time.